All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now officially live for another episode of your Staff Mark podcast. I am Hayley Franklin. If you've never seen my face, I'm honored to host these podcast sessions once a month, and they always fall on the final Friday of every month, unless it's a holiday. So make sure you check us out in the coming months, and I'll have a new guest speaker each time. Today, I'm so very excited to have someone very special here today, and I won't introduce her just yet. I'll wait until I can see a few more people have joined us on the ticker over here on the side. But like I said, my name is Hayley Franklin. I am market manager of Staff Mark here in Florida. We staff for the entire state, and I'm very proud and honored to host this podcast as well and just bring to you some workforce partners, community partners like Rachel, and just really help spread the word about what our community has to offer, what our region and our state as a whole has to offer. It's very exciting stuff, and I really just want everyone to know about all of the great things that we have going on here in Florida. So,
And it's a lot. It's a lot. There's so many things to talk about. You're never going to run out of content, Haley. That's for sure.
I'm so excited. So I see our ticker rising. So I will go ahead and introduce you. So we have here Miss Rachel Whitehouse, and she is the Multimedia Account Executive for the Tampa Bay Business Journal. And along with that, I also know her as the Inclusion Chair of the Emerging Leaders of the Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce. So everybody, big round of applause for Rachel. Yes. So we actually, let me tell you guys, we have known each other in another life. We just figured out not too long ago that we both live here in Florida now, but we are originally from Kentucky. And
Yes.
we
Go
know,
Cats. Go
yes,
Cats.
Big Blue Nation. We
Yes.
know some of the same people in our circles in the pageant world as well. So how cool is that? I love it.
Yes, I know. And it's a rarity that you get to meet people from Kentucky and Tampa, especially. So first of all, when I heard you speak, Haley, I was like, huh, I wonder, she sounds like everyone I've ever met my entire life. I'm like, I wonder what are the odds? And then, yes, we connected. We were like, are you also from Kentucky? And here we are.
Yes, absolutely. And so funny too. Rachel just invited me to a luncheon, which was so amazing. Thank you so much again for
Of
inviting me to
course.
that. Kelly Sutton was one of the guest speakers, and
Mhm.
she is going to be representing Loretta Lynn on Broadway, which
Yes,
is
and
a
the coal
another
miner's daughter, right? I know. As soon as she said that, we were both like,
heck
yes,
yes.
I'm so excited about this. Tell me more about the coal miner's daughter. We know it well.
Yes, we were meant to connect. I believe that
Yes.
wholeheartedly. So, if you know Rachel, throw her a comment in the comment section here. Say hi to her. I know we've got lot of the same mutual pageant friends and now business connections. So, let's get right into it, you guys. If you have questions for Rachel too, throw them in the chat and we will get to those kind of after the podcast has wrapped up. Again, this is going to be posted on YouTube and LinkedIn as well. So if it's playing back as you're watching it, it will live there forever and ever. So Rachel, thank you again so much. Just give me a little idea of tell us about the Tampa Bay Business Journal, what exactly you and your team does for the region, and how long you've been in your role. Tell us a little bit of that.
Absolutely. So, the Tampa Bay Business Journal is the premier business news organization in our region. We have boots on the ground, full editorial team here in Tampa that writes content about the 7 surrounding counties around Tampa Bay. So, even though Tampa Bay Business Journal, much bigger reach than that. And
Yes.
actually, our full coverage area is the entire west coast of Florida.
Oh no. I think we lost her, but you know what? She might come back. This happened once before with Tyson, I think. And he had the most viewers that we've ever had in podcast history. So let's see if she gets back in here. Rachel, fun fact, before she comes back, she is going to be going out for the title of Miss Florida. So that's exciting. And we know a few local preliminary winners here. So she's been doing mock interviews and preparing for that. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot of guts to do. So we're excited. I think she's back. I think so. It's going to count you down again.
Oh,
There
I'm
you
back.
are.
Okay. I don't know why I left, but that's okay.
You're back. That's all that
Yep,
matters.
that's all that matters. So, anyways, we were talking about the Business Journal and how
Yes.
incredible of an organization it is. So, business news publication covering the west coast of Florida. And I'm on our advertising team. And so my entire role is connecting with people that want to get in front of our high net worth decision maker subscriber base because that's who reads the Business Journal. And so a lot of advertising, strategic marketing campaigns we talk about. And a lot of it is community relations, making sure that we have a presence in the community. People can use us as a resource, especially since we have a tight connection with editorial, but also we're just around. We're in a lot of conversations with different industries. And so it's
Right.
nice to sort of pull that information.
Yeah.
And so we have three sort of main categories that we focus on. We have a print news publication. We call it the weekly edition that comes out on Fridays, a full suite of digital and online content as well on our website, and then also events in Tampa. So we host Best Places to Work, 40 Under 40,
Oh,
Fast
nice.
50, all of those types of events that you might hear, they're typically Business Journal events. So if you've never been to one, check us out. They're really great events with a great attendee base there.
That's really cool. I did not know that. That's
Yes,
amazing.
no, it's great. And another thing that people don't really know, since we're Tampa Bay Business Journals, we're actually one of 45 local markets with the Business Journal. So, from the advertising side, it's fantastic for a strategic campaign with our clients because we can tap into Orlando, South Florida, Austin, New York. We are in all 45 major cities.
That is so cool. I love that. Well, let me jump right in to the next question. Tell us a little bit about your role and your journey to this point. It
Yes,
seems
so
like you're passionate about it, so I love
yes, yes, I am because it's definitely a dream role. I didn't know that this type of job existed for me. But so I've always been in sales. My background was always in sales, and I
it.
actually didn't get connected with the Business Journal until the Mentor Protege program that the Tampa Bay Chamber puts on. And so that's a part of Emerge where an Emerge member, which is someone 21 to 35 are the age parameters there for Emerge, gets connected with a business leader.
Yeah.
And it's a full year-long program where you shadow, you get introduced to their network. And I got partnered with someone from the Business Journal. And
Oh,
so she brought
cool.
me to different events and I really connected with the team. I loved their whole mission and what they were about as far as being involved in the community, knowing that we are not transactional, we are not cold calling ever. It is always about the relationship, always about the big picture, these big sort of strategy campaigns that take several years. And so
Right.
I just loved everything they were about. And then over the course of a year, I got slowly recruited. I was hesitant at first. It was a new step for me in advertising marketing. That's not what my background was in. And
Yeah.
then after a year, I said, you know what? Fine, I'll give it a try. And now the rest is history. And I've been loving it for the last almost 2 years now. And
That's
actually, in my first year was just incredible. I couldn't have asked for a better first year. I believe hit like over 135% of my quota for that year, which was
cool.
pretty unheard of for someone in their first year.
Yeah.
And so very blessed and lucky when it has come to that. Hayley, you know, a lot of sales is luck, but I also like to think we're doing the right things to make that luck happen.
Absolutely. The relationship part that you talked about is so, I connect with that so much on a deep level here at Staffmark. It's the same. It's like the connections that we make are literal relationships and friendships that I will continue to have probably for the rest of my life. So it's
Right.
very true.
Right. Well, and it's just such a testament too when I get asked to sit in on internal marketing strategy meetings when they're talking about things like mergers of buying and consolidating with other banks or other nonprofits to consolidate their mission. And I'm sitting there talking branding, talking, okay, how are we going to position this? What could this story be? And so that's also a testament of there's nothing salesy about that, right? That is 100% just a part of the partnership. We always say
Yes.
we're not vendors, we're partners.
Absolutely. I love that. That is so true. And such a connection to what we do too. I love it. Oh, you mentioned something I wanted to ask you about too, which I think the viewers will want to know a little bit more about your mentorship. Tell me about kind of what you're doing in that space with mentorship and emerging leaders and that type of thing.
I could talk about this forever. We might need a whole podcast series on why mentorship matters and how to be a
I
mentor.
love
So
it.
I'm going to go all the way back to my first mentor ever because you're going to connect with this, Hayley. So, my grandmother was the first female mayor of a small town in Kentucky called Beaver Dam, Kentucky.
I
And she
love
was my
it.
first mentor. And she's the first one that showed me that mentorship is just bringing someone along with you for the journey. It's not always these big astronomical TED Talk presentations and life-changing moments, but it's in the hey, my granddaughter's going to sit in this city hall meeting. She's going to sit in this room and have access and exposure at an early age, which is why mentorship has been a part of my life since that day, right? I was, 6 years old when this happened. And
Yes.
so I've always had mentors in my life, have always sought them out. And then now that I'm in a position to kind of then make it full circle, I feel well equipped now to serve as a mentor. So I'm an official mentor in Take Stock in Children's program. In Hillsborough County, I mentor a high school student, Jasleen, and that
That's
is a biweekly mentorship meeting that we have that lasts several years. It's a 6 year mentorship program, similar to Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
yes.
People in other states are familiar with that because Take Stock is a Florida specific program. And
Okay.
so commit a lot of time to Jasleen. I also mentor in the collegiate leadership program. A St. Leo senior who is applying to PA school right now. So thoughts and prayers for Cindy, please, as she embarks on
Yes.
journey. And so a lot of my time is dedicated to just talking about being a mentor. What does that mean? What does that look like? And then also making sure that everyone knows sort of what I wish I knew when I was in high school of here's how to be a mentor to your peers. What does that look like? You don't
Yep.
need to be the CEO of a company to have something to offer in a conversation. Here's how to build confidence and equip our next generation because we know those mentorship moments happen on the bus, in the cafeteria, on your sports teams. So making sure that these next generation of leaders have those skills and are ready for that instead of having to wait maybe later in life like some of us did.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think having a mentor at any age is important. Also, tell your grandma how cool she is.
Yes.
You might know this, but I ran for mayor back when I lived
I
in
did
Carrollton.
not know that, Haley.
Is. And they told me this at a conference one time, the youngest elected female official, because at the time I was 21 when I ran for city council. And so you tell your grandma that I love her.
I will. And that is incredible, Haley. What courage that was to step up there. And I'm sure you brought a new, fresh take, and I'm sure that was needed and
It was
appreciated.
so fun. And I lost, but shout out Rob Adams. He's actually still the mayor now in Carrollton
Okay.
and he's the best. So
Well, and Haley, the beauty is it's never too late.
that's true. That
It's
is so
never too late.
true.
It just wasn't your time yet.
That's right. Look out, Tampa City Council. You never know. All right. Well, thank you for that, Rachel. That's awesome. I love the mentorship piece of this. Tell me what your favorite part about your current role is.
Too many things. Like I said, I'm like giddy about my job every day. I wake up and I just know how blessed I am to have found it when I did at such a young age to say, this is what I have aspired to sort of get to.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing about my role might not be necessarily my role itself, but the company and sort of the structure we have and what they want from us.
Yeah.
And they encourage involvement in the community where our direct leader, our market president and publisher says, yes, serve on the board for all of these organizations. I want you volunteering. I want you to sort of leave a legacy in Tampa Bay because we all recognize we're only here for a moment. It's the impact that we're leaving, and we want people to feel like they are heard, that they are seen, they know that we're a resource for them, and to build that partnership. So most of my job day to day is spending time at the chambers, going to the Economic Development Council meetings, making sure I'm serving on committees for different nonprofits, helping bolster our nation, and traveling to Tallahassee, traveling to DC, representing Tampa, really just making sure that what we do is so much bigger than the four walls of the business journal. And I
Yeah.
don't know if that's true for every organization. I know I didn't work for one of those before this. And so really just to feel empowered to get out there and find what I'm passionate about and just make that my job too,
Yeah.
knowing that again, sales karma is real. What you
We lost her again. Rachel, come back. Here we go. It's counting down. Stay with us, guys. Rachel, can you hear me? She's there somewhere. I can see her. There she is. Yeah, let me count you down again. There
Okay.
it goes. There
Haley,
you
I'm not touching my screen, I swear. I'm sitting here and I just disappear.
are. Like, she's gone again.
I'm sitting a foot away from my computer. I'm not touching anything, I promise. I'm so sorry, Haley.
You're
You
fine.
were talking about just getting involved in the community. That's my
Yes.
favorite part.
Yes. And I was going to tell you too, I love companies. I truly feel that the companies that are the most successful really foster that community of community service, and they get their employees into the community and get them out there. And visibility is so important. And the connections you make at these places will carry you through. So I love that.
Right. And that's the best way too to feel planted. Like I have roots in Tampa. It's such a great feeling to walk in a room and know so many people from different contexts and be
Yes.
able to connect with them. And you know, Tampa, the biggest small town ever, right? The
That's
business
true.
world is very small. And for everyone to be so welcoming and know that I might have something to offer and to invite me to those rooms. And then likewise, when, you know,
Yes,
they might be looking for their next job or looking for a client there, I can connect my clients with each other because that's what it's all about
it
is
is.
just connecting and making sure that everyone can be, you know, the most successful in whatever they're doing.
100%. I believe that. Let's talk about. So, we talked about your favorite part about your current role. And then I like to always ask my guests, what is a good example of like a success story that you can share with us?
There's so many tech. Okay. I'm going to give you one that's a specific client that I looking back at it now, it was one of the coolest campaigns we ever ran. So it was a brand new startup that was launching their first commercial product. Their name was Partsol, and they were launching this AI friendly platform that could be used at banks and law firms. So they were sort of that pioneer, one of the first to really do what they were doing. And
Right.
they had one marketing leader, but no plans, no ads, no anything like that yet. And so we were brought in really early stages to help them develop what their brand was going to be, who they were looking for, choosing
So
color
excited.
schemes and making a big splash. And so we ran a full market takeover. We had cover wraps on our paper. We did a whole digital thing. Like we went above and beyond and did a giant splash campaign that was such a high impact for them. And even now, looking back, I have people reference that and say, hey, I know it was only like a 1 week campaign, but there was some tech company that was really cool. What was that? And I'm like, their name is Partsol. They were incredible. And so
They
now getting to
did.
work with them now after sort of that first launch, where it's been a full year since then, that was last March, seeing them now sort of pivot and say, okay, we tried this. Here's our voice. Let's even niche further. This is what we want to lean into. But that was just such a great example. Even something pulled nationwide from other markets that people were messaging me about. We had our national corporate team reaching out and saying, tell us the story of this. How did we even meet them in the first place? And it all goes
Wow.
back to community and a conversation over coffee that turned into, you know, launching of an entire company.
That's amazing. And people were obviously taking note. That's the biggest thing. That's so awesome.
Yes.
All
Great.
right, let's talk about last question. We're already on the last question, Rachel. How do we get here?
I don't know. I have so much more to share though, so it's okay.
Tell me anything really cool or exciting that is happening with either emerging leaders or the Chamber of Commerce or the Tampa Bay Business Journal. Just let's hear it.
You said give you one, and I'm giving you three because every
Oh,
every organization has something upcoming that people should know about. So, gonna start with the Business Journal.
okay.
So, we are hosting a Best Places to Work event in April. All information you can find at TBBJ, that's Tampa Bay Business Journal, on our website. We have an events tab. Check that out. That is going to be an event that we host at Raymond James. Over 1,000 participants there. So companies like Hayley's that are involved with staffing or HR. This is a very HR sort of decision maker centered event to celebrate those teams and leadership. So we see a lot of outsourcing of payroll. Any company that wants to be in front of HR teams, I would say check out Best Places to Work. For Take Stock in Children, I would be remiss if I did not mention that we are needing more mentors
Okay.
in Tampa, so in Hillsborough County, but also in surrounding counties.
Oh, please don't go away again.
We are needing more male leaders in our
Rachel? Oh,
community.
you froze. You're back.
Okay,
You're
I'm back. Take stock mentors. We need more men. more male leaders in Hillsborough County, especially. There's several students that are looking for a mentor. And if that student is being courageous and applying for this program, the least we can do is step up and sort of help them on their journey. So that information can be found at TSIC, that's Take Stock in Children, or in Hillsborough County, HEF is who puts it on. Hillsborough Education Foundation runs the program here. So apply to be a mentor. We need more. And then for the chamber and for Merge, if you have a company with young professionals, again, that's 21 to 35 are those age parameters for Emerge. Feel free to connect them with myself or send them over to the chamber's website. We are always looking to help connect other young professionals in our region. We have events almost every week that we put on with Emerge. And so just send them our way. We would love to talk more with them about how they can get involved and what they can get out of it and opportunities there. So many exciting things coming up. That's just 3. But again, thank you so much, Hayley, for allowing me
Yes.
to share just a little bit about this. And we kind of need to make this a series of like the Kentucky girls.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Seriously, so great. You can come on anytime you want, Rachel. This has been great. So I was trying to take a couple notes and putting them in the comments section. www.tsic, take stock, and is that right?
Let me double check. It sounds right. It is the
Okay.
Take Stock in Children website that has
Okay.
the actual application.
Perfect.
And then Hillsborough Education Foundation. Honestly, if you just Google Take Stock in Children mentors, it is
Okay.
the first link that comes up. They do a great job of promoting it.
Wonderful. I threw a couple of notes in the comments section. If you guys have any questions, get with me, get with Rachel. We are both on LinkedIn. Shoot us a message. Any other questions at all, let us know and we will get you some answers. Again, Rachel, thank you so much for being on here with me. Fellow Kentucky girl, fellow pageant girl, fellow businesswoman. I love it. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course. First of many conversations, I'm sure. We'll be back.
Yes. And don't forget, viewers, we will be back again March 27th. I do not have a guest speaker lined up yet. So if you guys even have ideas of who we can bring on for the next guest speaker for this year, let me know. And that is a wrap, folks. I will see you next time. Thank you, Rachel.
Of course. Of course. Thanks, Hayley.
Bye.